Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Legacy Evolution Deluxe Class Breakdown, the final member of the Stunticons. So, I'm going to put him outside real quick, and yeah, he actually comes in a Legacy box. Yeah, they sell the box to look like Legacy instead. It still says Legacy and plastic-free packaging stuff. So, it's some new things, but nice picture of this alt mode, which we'll get into. I'm on the side here. We got the robot mode, which looks real nice. You got a close-up shot. Up here, you got the QR code right there for the tech specs if you want. On this side, you have the Legacy half of a line-wide artwork. And bottom here, you have manufacturing stuff and what's included and all that. And on the back, you have warnings and copyrights and product shots. And there you go. It's a weird hybrid of the old Legacy box and the current Evolution box. And also comes with instructions, which may be different depending on certain things. I have the Legacy Evolution greenish instructions. People have gotten the regular Legacy instructions as well. So there's some things, like the Legacy Evolution instructions do not mention anything about Menasor whatsoever, versus the ones that just say Legacy, no Evolution, do mention the Menasor thing. So there's a bit of a running change. So there's that. Anyway, breakdown. You can see him here. He is, white, blue, and silver. Bit of red too. Looking up close. See, yep. Nice red face, some yellow eyes, blue and silver chest, some white all over the place, mostly whites, and see some tech detailing blue and whatnot. And you have, bits of his car on the back and whatnot. And yeah, it kind of looks familiar because, yes, he is a retool of Wild Rider. They didn't make a new tooling, they made him a retooling Wild Rider, which has some people in a tizzy because, it's not different enough. So yeah, that's a thing, unfortunately, but he does come with different weapons. He comes with a new gun, which is black and white, which, pegs in just fine, like say you're on his hand. And he comes with this, which is a spoiler, but hey, has to be removed for transformation, and you can hold that as well. If you want. Yeah, you can just peg that into his hand, and there you go. He's holding it like a kind of a boomerang type of thing. So yeah, he is, for better or for worse, a retool of Wild Rider, and we're just gonna have to accept that as is. And you can complain all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that's what it is. Now, it's still, I would still say, it's still a good mold overall. There's still things that apparently I'm finding out the reason why people hated Wild Rider so much was basically because of that. Like, okay, sure, yeah, okay. But yeah, I still think it's a good mold overall. This one's has some tolerance issues compared to my Wild Rider one, does not. So that's a little bit of annoyance. I'll get into those as I need to. But yeah, of course, I still have the the hood like this. Although yeah, officially you're supposed to do the whole weird cape thing, I guess, which you can still do, but still doesn't look great, and I don't like it, and most people don't, and I just leave it like this because it looks much better to have it, compacted up like this. This looks much better to do it like that. But anyway, you have that going on. But head, though, you got a swivel joint right there, left and right. You got rotation, although backwards is a little blocked because of all that stuff. Outward that far, you have biceps, elbows go about 90 degrees. Wrists can't swivel, but they can go inward if you need that. Do have a waist joint, which is unhindered, which is nice. Hips can go forward that far and back that far and outward really far. You have a thigh swivel. The knees can go a little over 90 degrees. And, of course, the feet can tilt that far, and they can go forward quite a bit because of transformation stuff. And there's your lot, really, with breakdown. Pretty much the same as Wild Rider for better for worse, just, new colors, new head, but same articulation and everything. But got some comparisons to do. First of all, we're going to go ahead and here's Siege Megatron, just for the sake of, that is the leader. Because I've been doing it with all of them. Here he is with Combiner Wars Breakdown. Who, oh boy, he's definitely an improvement over Combiner Wars Breakdown, because boy did Combiner Wars Breakdown look a little weird. Yeah. And here he is with the Fans Project Breakdown, who, of course, yeah, the funny thing is Fans Project Breakdown came out, and then it turns out their Wild Rider was a retool of their Breakdown. So, again, history kind of repeating itself. And, of course, we're going to put them in the back because we're going to get all of them in here. 5 Legacy Stunticons, warts and all. I overall still like them, but, you know, they do have their flaws. Some of which I've pretty much documented, you know, what they are over the reviews, but there they are as a group all together, finally. So you go. So, Robo Mode, again, I still think it looks great, but if you didn't like the Wild Rider, you're probably not going to like this one either, but there you go. It's because it's both the same robot, which means the same transformation, so let's go ahead and get down to that. Well, most of the same. Yeah, go ahead and, of course, remove the accessories if you haven't already. And take the fists here, rotate those in, and straighten out the arms. They'll click into place, or at least kind of tab into place. Rotate that fist in, tab it into place. Open up the chest, rotate the head in, and close it back up. Bring the arms inward and make sure they're nice and against the body. Now, the hood right here, this is where my big, one of my big weird problems is, namely, these don't like to pass through here. There's little notches in the hood windshield for these to go through. It does not like to go through, and it's kind of scary sometimes. So that's a fun one. But yeah, get that through. And then this right here, again, this is on a really, well, actually it was really making a nasty cracking noise every single time I moved it, but it seems to have fixed itself. But anyway, bring that down and tab that in right there. Right down here, rotate the waist 180. Then take the feet and move those up. Open up the legs right here. The shins. Go ahead and tab those together. Like that. And then fold the legs up. There's, again, the slight bit of a clearance issue right here, as before. Bring this down and in, and then make sure to bring those in. Of course, make sure the arms don't get dragged along with them, and so the tabs are on the inside like that. And then make sure it's all squared away. There you go. Now, it's not done yet. Take the spoiler and, of course, peg it into the 2 peg holes back here. And the gun here, which is nice, you can store right here. There's a little giant, I guess, big old peg thingy right here. And this can go up right and up in here like this and peg in. And there you go. There's your gun storage for that. And there you go. There's Breakdown in his vehicle mode. And yep, this is, yeah, a remold of Wild Rider, like I said, and there is some differences. You might look and go, what? There's no real difference. There is some. One, the spoiler is obvious. You see, there is some molding. New molding back here is more of the luves back here instead of what it was before, which is kind of more Ferrari-like. So this is a little more Lamborghini-like in the back end, although the front end is pretty much untouched other than colors. But, you know, you got the red and the Decepticon symbol there. You got the smoky translucent plastic. And yeah, so you got this weird thing where it looks kind of like a Ferrari and then kind of turns into a Lamborghini partway backwards. And if you look there, it is by coincidence does resemble a Lamborghini Jalpa, which that's something, I guess. But not surprisingly, people are going to want this front end properly replaced. And the good news is that shouldn't be too difficult. There's basically 4 screws in the torso to remove this entire front end. So no doubt there will be someone down the line eventually to completely swap out this part with a new part that looks more Lamborghini-like. So, we'll see, but it still is a nice looking car. Just, well, it's not very Lamborghini-like, and that's going to upset some people. So there's that. They even remolded some stuff back here, including some new taillight-esque stuff on the inner part right there. So that's something. He still rolls pretty well, you know, as he should, because, well, it's a Lambo Ferrari thingy. But yeah. It's going to upset some people that looks more, kind of still looks like a Ferrari, despite the fact it should look like a Lamborghini, but that's just what happened. And apparently, if it was releasing, they delayed it to Legacy Evolution, because apparently otherwise it would have been just a straight repaint with pretty much little actual changes, versus some changes at least, so yay? I don't know. Yeah, if you're going to upset over it, I get it, but at the same time, it's something that doesn't bother me that much. Although, if there is ever a kit to replace the front end, I might go ahead and get it, depending on how good it is. If it's just a 3D printed kit, I probably won't do that. But if it's an actual decent one, I might go ahead and replace the front end. As long as it's not, you know, a stupid thing like they try to make you knock out the pins, which are difficult to get to. But anyway, Comparisons. This guy. And first of all, Combiner Wars. Yeah. And if you had different shades there, you can see that. Different ideas. But yeah, very different design philosophies there. But hey, you got that. Of course, Fans Project version, which is noticeably smaller, but also, well, again, looks like an Aventador a bit. You got that going on. And of course, there's the rest of the Stunticons, and there's the complete set. Got them all. And you can see very much what I was talking about with the remolding. You see the front ends are pretty much identical. When you get to the back, you can see that is quite a bit different on the back end at the very least. Venting and all that stuff is quite different. Even the replacement of the peg holes is different. Even it even extends back here. This part is different too. So yeah, pretty much you get to pretty much all the way back to here. The legs pretty much they completely remolded. This back end right here is completely remolded compared to the old one. So that's something. Just so you know. There you go. So that's Breakdown. Yes, he's still a good figure, but it's gonna annoy some people that he's just a remold of Wild Rider, and take it or leave it. At this point, well, if by the time we all found out about this, we were pretty much, at least most of us were 2 or 3 molds in already. So it was one of those things. So it's like, yep. It's still a good figure. I mean, I think Wild Rider is still a good figure, and I think, well, him being a remold means he's still also a good figure for the most part. Mine did have a couple weird little things, like, again, the hood when transforming, it gets jammed up on the windshield pieces and whatnot, but it seems to be kind of breaking itself in, so maybe that won't be a problem down the line. But yeah, it's just, unfortunately, that's the thing about him. I'll show a combined mode in the Manosaur video, because why not? Because at this point, you'll see it tomorrow anyway, because from the one this is going up. So yeah, I'll get in combined mode. It's pretty easy, though. I mean, well, you do that and then attach it to the Motor Master parts. So yeah. You know how it is, and this can stay attached. I can confirm that that very much can stay attached to the car the entire time. You don't have to remove the gun at all. So yeah, I'll show off everything tomorrow on the Manosaur review, because I'm doing that all separately. But overall, I think he's still a pretty solid figure overall. But at this point, it doesn't really matter if you're in on the Stunticons. You're in on the Stunticons. You're buying them, whether or not you're grumbling, unless you just are selling the whole thing or getting just a second Wild Rider out of spite. I don't know. I still like him, but I will acknowledge that it is a little disappointing that it's just a remold and not its own, well, not an extensive remold. Like Dead End was technically a remold of Drag Strip, but they did pretty extensive work. This one, not so much, unfortunately. So that's that. That's a little disappointing, but I'm not going to let it eat me up and everything. So that's it for this one. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my co-host, cohost.com/Nemesis-Prime. Check out my Coffee and my Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.